Hey Tim, how you doing today?
Absolutely fantastic, Scott.
Good. So, this is kind of fun because you and I talk a lot about a whole bunch of different topics, and we've joked about the fact that we agree on so many different things, and I'm waiting for us to disagree on something. But until that time, I thought it would be important to, because you and I have spoken for a while, and I want to make sure that people out there understand the basis for our relationship and why we like working together. So if you can maybe just take a minute or so and explain a little bit about how it is that you help your clients.
Sure, thanks for that. And yes, I agree. It's interesting. You and I come at things from different perspectives, but we come to the same conclusion. And that kind of leads into the answer for the first question. For me, like you, everything is based on a customer-centric approach.
Yes.
So in the work that I do with clients, it's very much about understanding that customer really well, and particularly understanding how your product or service is best used by them. Then making sure there's alignment back in the organization so that everybody in the company understands that relationship and that usage. By making sure you've got that internal and external approach to things, it makes sure that everybody says, I know why I'm doing this on a daily basis. I
Right.
know why the customer gets value. And if there's ever a problem or a challenge, it's pretty easy to identify where that bump in the road is, and you can address it a little bit quicker. So alignment for delivery of improved customer value would be the main focus of the work that I do with organizations.
So this isn't in my list of questions, but I'm going to ask you for like a real one or two word answer. You said you need to understand the customer. How do you do that?
One of them is ask, and another one is watch.
I love it. That's exactly what I was looking for. So, in terms of the alignment and this whole thing about understanding the customer, why is that so important? What are the benefits of taking the approach that you take?
Well, folks a lot smarter than me, friends of mine, Dr. Linden and Dr. Chris Brown from Market Culture, an organization in Australia that I'm affiliated with, the research that they have done has shown conclusively over the years, the more customer centric you are, the more profitable you are. So, in real simple terms, Scott, if you have that customer centricity built in, your opportunity to become more profitable as an organization has increased. So, for me, that's the simple equation.
So, I'm going to go off script again because I can. I'm the one doing asking the questions. Do you feel that most organizations do this really well?
Short answer, no.
Okay.
And it's not because they do it deliberately wrong,
Yes.
it's because they don't do it in a systemic or consistent approach. And by that, I mean they won't have a full process to collect that information, to collect all the asks and the answers, to collect all the views and the material that they can watch and see that their customer is using. And then they don't have a good process for pulling it all together and making sure that everybody in the organization understands what that is and that there's overall strategic alignment on that. Those are the biggest gaps. Um, Sounds simple, and in a sense it is, but it's that consistent application,
Yeah.
and it's not a one and done process, it's an ongoing process.
And I would add to that I think a lot of organizations, to your point, feel like they do it pretty well. And I feel like if they were to have a really objective perspective on their ability to connect and understand customers, that they'd realize that there's a gap there because either they don't do it well enough, or they don't do it often enough. Would you agree?
I would agree on that. And again, the folks at Market Culture have created a tool, the MRI, the Marketing Resonance Indicator, and it's an internal approach, which is different than what I just said, but it starts internally and asking people across, particularly leadership to begin with, do you see yourselves aligned? How much do you understand about your customers and your competitors? And how much then do you bring that in and analyze it to say, do we need to react in a certain way? Do we need to change things in a certain way? Or do we just need to continue to monitor and be ready to adjust and adapt, depending on primarily what our customers are looking for? The big deliverable is how do we make sure we're delivering value for our customers? It's the value defined by what the customer is looking for.
Value defined by the customer. Love it. So here's the last question. Why do you do what you do? What, and I'll maybe I'll add to it, what brings you so much joy or pleasure out of doing what you do?
Well, I'll give you just the quick history. So I started in consulting right out of university because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was really fortunate because it gave me a terrific opportunity to work with different people across the country in two of the largest firms and to see different organizations in different situations. I got to a point after about 8 years where I wanted to walk in the shoes of the management people. So I ended up spending 22 years in business, knowing that I was to get back into consulting at some point.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago, I started my own practice. What it does for me is it allows me to focus in on the areas of interest for me, which are strategy and marketing. And it allows me to target customers and organizations that I would like to work with that I believe I can provide value for them.
Right.
And being a big supporter of the certified management consulting profession, it has allowed me to really focus on that and make sure that I'm a good professional. And by that, I mean, I'm providing service and value, not only directly to my clients, but to my colleagues and to folks like you that I've developed a friendship with over the last few years.
I appreciate that. And I really liked how you constantly mentioned the client, the customer, right? That's the piece I think is really so powerful. And I think that's a testament to the work you've done over the last number of years. So listen, Tim, always fun chatting. And guess what? We will definitely do this again. Take care, my friend.
Sounds grand. Thanks a lot,
Okay.
Scott.
Bye-bye.